Can I beat a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Soulsilver while only using Ice-type Pokemon? Well, considering I don't normally get one until after the 4th gym, I think it might be a little difficult. In a hardcore Nuzlocke, once a Pokemon faints, it's dead forever, you can't use items in battle, you can't overlevel with the next gym leader's ace, and a couple other rules that you can see on screen now. Let's get into it. Hey, quick question. How are we supposed to get an Ice-type? You said there wasn't one until the 4th gym. The answer to that might scare some of you. We have to go for a walk. God, Jesus Christ. Don't scare me like that. By making use of the Pokewalker, which I definitely still have and used for this, we can bring 2 Pokemon over to our totally real copy of Soulsilver that I'm playing on my Nintendo DS. I'm not being defensive, you're being defensive. First, we've got a skill link Shelder named The Holiday starring Cameron Diaz. That's her government name, by the way. While she might not be an ice type right now, our second Pokewalker encounter can actually help with that. Since the Met location is always Pokewalker no matter what the area you use is, we can only use one of the Pokemon in battle, but that's okay since Staryu isn't and never will be an ice type, unless they want to be. Again, we support everyone and anyone on this channel, but for this challenge, they're only here for moral support, and what better way to do that than give us a Water Stone, which it holds when you catch it. We can grab that, then after Shelder learns Icicle Spear at level 13, we evolve her into our first ice type. Let's get this run started. Started? Bro, you're at the level cap already. Well, Shelder did tank some of the XP before hitting level 13, so we're actually in Violet City, home of the first gym. That only leaves Sprout Tower to get through, and we're good. Nice. With no breathing room, well, I guess like 10 XP of breathing room, let's go quickly take on the flying type aficionado, Falkner. Falkner leads with Pidgey, and I lead with Cloyster. If anyone here thinks this level 9 Pidgey has a chance to survive a 5-hit Icicle Spear, you clearly need to subscribe because you need to learn a little more about Pokemon. That only leaves his ace Pidgeotto left, but even the second stage evolution can't withstand a 5-hit Icicle Spear, so our super effective move claims another victim, bringing down Falkner's ace and winning us the first badge of the run, the Zephyr badge. Yeah, did you know it was called that? I didn't either, don't worry. With only a few levels of XP to work with, we get to play a fun game called God damn. Well, I was going to say that we've got to dodge some trainers to make this XP situation work, but clearly I didn't get the memo. After actually pulling off some insane trainer dodging, welcome to Azalea Town, home of the second gym. We make like the Indianapolis Colts and pull in an old man from retirement, and then we take care of Team Rocket in the Slowpoke well. Before we take on Bugsy, my plan is to take care only the mandatory gym trainers, so then we can... God, fuck it. It's fine, I'm fine. Well, now we definitely don't have enough XP for the rival fight, so what the hell. Who wants to see an underlevel Bugsy fight? I know I do. Bugsy leads with Scyther, and I lead with Cloyster. It U-turns out, doing 10 damage, then brings in Metapod second. Obviously, Metapod doesn't do anything here, so let's just skip to Cloyster getting a KO and Scyther coming back out. It uses Leer to drop our defense, then we fire off a 5-hit Icicle Spear. Okay, that means we're gonna have to tank a U-turn at -1 defense, which we may or may not survive. Oh. Works for me. An Icicle Spear brings down Bugsy's ace, and with only Kakuna in the back, this battle is as good as over. A couple Icicle Spears later, Cloyster secures the 3rd KO of the battle, and we've won our second gym badge of the run. Okay, I wanted to do this earlier, but now it's time for our second battle against Silver. Ideally, we don't overlevel here, because then the run would be over, but let's see how it goes. His lead Ghastly just gets outsped and killed by Icicle Spear, but his Quilava is scary. It starts spamming Smokescreen, so now we're missing Icicle Spears that are doing embarrassing damage, by the way. Come on. We do get pretty lucky, and for some reason it just never uses Ember, so we eventually hit 3 5-hit Icicle Spears, leaving Silver with only Zubat left in the back. That's a flying type against our ice type, so we make pretty quick work of this, and our XP is honestly in a pretty good spot. Yeah, you think you could hide from me, buddy? Yeah, nice try. With no mandatory trainers on Route 34, we safely arrive in Goldenrod City, home of the 3rd gym. We nail the radio quiz on the first try, which I swear to God never happens to me. Then after Whitney heads back to the gym, we take a little detour for some personal fun. Then we head into the Clefairy shaped gym, looking for our 3rd badge of the run. Whitney leads with Clefairy, and I lead with our only option, Cloyster. She's got a couple new toys from the game corner, the Ice Beam TM and the Metronome item. Combining a great stab move and a held item that boosts our damage if we use the same move over and over again, we can pretty easily take care of Whitney's lead. After tanking a double slap, 2 Ice Beams is all it takes, giving us a 10% damage boost as Miltank comes out second. Stomp doesn't flinch us, so we fire off a boosted Ice Beam, dropping the normal type into the yellow. We get lucky and dodge another flinch on the next turn, then one more Ice Beam brings down... Hello? 10% boost? Metronome? Is this thing on? Well, Whitney uses both her super potions at least, so Ice Beam can keep knocking Miltank low, letting our starter bring down her famously terrifying lead with one more Ice Beam. With that, we've got 3 badges of Johto, and let's keep this going. Okay guys, no one freak out, but we're getting another team member. After clearing out the Sudowoodo, we arrive in Eckerteak City. When we head inside the Pokemon Center, we meet Bill and then follow him home. Follow him home? Okay, and then we break into his house and get a free Pokemon? Are we robbing this guy? Well, Love Actually the Eevee joins the team, and since it's Christmas, I open a present from my cousin in Galar. He gave me an Ice Stone that you can't get in Johto, so we can actually just use it to evolve our peak Christmas movie into an Ice type, Glaceon. These stats are a huge power boost to the team, and it's coming just in time. We use his power to bring down Team Rocket in the Dance Theater and get the Surf HM. That gives Cloyster another great stab option, which is perfect for a rematch against Silver. We take care of him pretty easily, and that... Holy shit. That's Suicune. Yo, Suicune, yo! Bro, I just wanted a picture. With every direction blocked by Surf, it's time to take on Morty and his ghost types for our 4th gym badge. Morty leads with Ghastly, and I lead with Glaceon. With our base 130 special attack and 90 base power stab move, we pretty easily take care of the first stage ghost type, prompting Morty to bring out his ace next, Gengar. We've got the special defense to stay in here, and clearly Gengar didn't see a KO, since it just used Mean Look. Here's the thing though, it's not trapping us in here with it, it's trapping itself in against us. Icy Wind drops its speed, but it wasn't enough to avoid having to tank a Shadow Ball down to half, but after that, an Ice Beam nets us KO number 2 of the battle, bringing out Morty's first Haunter. Its entire set relies on hitting a Hypnosis, which it doesn't, so an Ice Beam takes it out in one shot. That leaves only the other Haunter left in the back, so I swapped to Cloyster on a curse that does half our job for us. From here, a 5-hit Skill Link Icicle Spear finishes off the final Pokemon of the battle, and that's our 4th gym badge in the case. Next stop, Olivine City. Before we hit the road toward the next gym, there's one pit stop we gotta make. The problem is that it's only available on Fridays, so I guess we're stuck here, just the 2 of us. It's getting really chill. This bit was a lot funnier in my head. I'm not doing boyfriend ASMR. For free that is. Sign up for mine. Inside Union Cave, we grab the static Lapras and name her Home Alone. But with the water absorbability instead of shell armor, it's gonna make a lot of battles a lot less safe. After journeying through routes 38 and 39, we arrive in Olivine City, home of the 7th gym. The 7th? See, you gotta go across the... Why do I sound like a New York mobster? You see, you gotta go to Cianwood City first, you see? Just to any New Yorkers that were offended by that, I meant it, every word of it. We surf by the Whirl Islands, which are locking our next encounter behind Whirlpool, then we land on the shores of our next gym badge. We head inside the gym for our toughest challenge yet. It's time to tango with the fighting type master, Chuck. Chuck leads with Primeape and I lead with Glaceon. It outspeeds and uses Double Team, which is terrifying, but we still hit our Icy Wind with help from a Wide Lens, dropping its speed to let us take it down with Ice Beam next turn. That leaves Chuck with only his ace Poliwrath, which is insane, by the way. Why does the 5th gym leader only have 2 Pokemon? Morty had like 4 5 minutes ago. Well, anyways, Poliwrath really just wants to use Focus Punch to turn my ice types into dust, but since it doesn't do damage if we do damage to it on the same turn, we can just keep hitting Icy Winds and Ice Beams, wasting its 5 PP. Once it's out, we get hit by a Hypnosis and then swap into Cloyster on a super weak Surf. I guess it had one more. Well, just in case I really can't count, Cloyster stays in to tank a Surf, and then I bring in Lapras to secure this battle. We use Perish Song, which is a move that KOs every Pokemon that's on the field when I use it if it doesn't switch out in 3 turns. Since Chuck has nothing left in the back, we can just stall a couple turns by protecting and taking a Body Slam, then bring in Glaceon to make sure Lapras survives. Poliwrath goes down, and with that, we've got our 5th gym badge of the Johto region. And trust me, that's not going to be the only battle we win with Perish Song. You're Chuck's wife? Do you want to be? Bad P. Bad. Don't make jokes about Chuck's wife. I won't make jokes about stealing people's wives. I won't make jokes about stealing people's wives. The doctor doesn't give me the secret potion because he's a scammer, but then I remember that I have to do the lighthouse stuff first, so give me a sec. Hi Jasmine, give me the prescription. Now. Thank you. Okay, give me the drugs, old man. With the lighthouse ready to go, Jasmine is back in her gym, but we've got another side quest to tackle first. After trekking to the Lake of Rage, we calm down the red Gyarados and it's gone. Where'd it go? What did I just do? Well, we get some really cool shades to make us feel better, then Lance and I run through Team Rocket's level 20s. Like, come on, my hand is getting tired from spamming the A button. It's time for our back-to-back gym battles, so let's start with the lowest level cap. Price might be the Ice-type leader in Johto for now, but the new generation is on the come-up. Get ready to retire, buddy. Price leads with Seal, and I lead with Lapras. A Thunderbolt does like 2/3, and then it just sets up the hail against my Ice-type team. So, yeah, that's not going to help you, buddy. Second up is Piloswine, and a Mud Bomb might drop our accuracy, but Lapras doesn't give a fuck about that, hitting a critical hit Surf through the drop to secure the second KO of the battle, and leave Price with only one Pokemon left, Dugong. It started using 4 times resisted Aurora Beam, which is a great choice, clearly. Then a Perish Song secures this battle. We try to get the KO before those turns are up, but Arrest forces me to swap to Cloyster on the final turn. From here, Perish Song takes down Dugong, and we've earned our 6th badge of the run. We get the TM Hail as a reward too, which normally sucks, but in this run, it'll actually be awesome for us to set up perfectly accurate blizzards. With no room in the level cap to spare, let's fly right back to Olivine City and take on another gym with a super effective matchup against us, Jasmine and her Steel types. Jasmine leads with Magnemite and I lead with Glaceon. Because he's a dog, and wait, is Glaceon a dog or a cat? A fox? Okay, well, it's like a dog, cat, fox thing, but it learns Dig. So our physical attack might be terrible, but it's still enough to get a 4 times super effective KO on Jasmine's lead. Second up is her ace, Steelix, so I swap into Lapras on a Screech. Our Surf doesn't get a one-shot KO here, which it could have if I gave her the choice specs, but we don't get punished since it just set up a Sandstorm instead of attacking us. One more Surf brings down the part ground type, and Jasmine is left with only another Magnemite. I stay in and use Perish Song, just to first secure the victory and second to bait a Thunder Wave to paralyze us. That lets Glaceon swap in without getting paralyzed, so after dodging a Supersonic, another Dig brings down Magnemite before Perish Song does anything. With that, we've got 7 Johto gym badges in the case, and the 8th one is going to join them real soon. Hello? Team Rocket is taking over the radio station. I don't give a fuck. I'm so excited to save the town. Yay! Well, before we do that, we can actually add another encounter to the team. With access to Whirlpool, we can get inside Whirl Islands, run around, and then find and catch a seal named Diehard. After a few levels, it evolves into Dugong, and with the Thick Fat ability, we've got our new answer to fire types. This Team Rocket section is super easy. Maybe I'm just used to Sacred Gold, go watch that video if you haven't. But we do our cosplay, a creepy fan tries to take upskirt pictures of us, classic convention things, then we beat up Silver, even though he has a new Sneasel. Archer is waiting for us at the top of the radio tower, and he leads with Houndour and I lead with Lapras. It outspeeds, hits a Fire Fang that burns and flinches us, which is awesome, but after we don't get hacked on the next turn, a single Surf gets us our first KO, bringing out Houndoom second. After trading a Surf for a Fire Fang, I swap to Cloyster on a Feint attack and then bring down Archer's Ace with a Surf. That leaves only Coughing to take care of, but it's a Coughing. We literally dealt with a Wheezing earlier against Proton. Why does the boss of the evil team have 2 unevolved Pokemon? What the fuck is going on in this region? Sorry, I got a little frustrated there. With Coughing down, Team Rocket is taken care of, at least in this region, and we're free to continue our gym badge journey. With the east of Mahogany Town finally open to us, we can access the only dedicated ice area of Johto, the Ice Path. We have the highest chance at Swine up here, but if we don't get a Jinx or a Delibird, this run could be in real trouble. Well, Polar Express is going to make this very interesting. Blackthorn City, home of the final gym of Johto, and the Move Relearner. That means we can reteach Ancient Power, evolving Swinub into Piloswine and then into Mamoswine. Do we need him against Claire's Dragon types with our team of Ice types? Let's find out. Claire leads with Gyarados and I lead with Lapras. After taking a Dragon Rage, a 4 times super effective Thunderbolt secures us our first KO of the Oh, cool. Well, a couple turns later, down goes Gyarados, and Claire's first Dragonair is out second, but I'm not sure which one this is. After using Perish Song to force the switch, we set up the Hail and then swap into Mamoswine as Claire brings out her second Dragonair. Our perfectly accurate Blizzard secures a one-shot KO on the Dragon type, bringing in Claire's ace next, Kingdra. I make use of Lapras's Water Absorb ability, recovering some HP by switching in on a Hydro Pump. Never mind. Well, my plan is out the window at this point, so I bring in Dugong and try to use my backup plan. It uses Smokescreen to drop our accuracy, so then we use Encore, locking it into the status move for a few turns. Now that we're definitely safe, I bring in Lapras, set up the Hail, and then bring in Choice Specs Glaceon to use Blizzard, which isn't just 100% accurate in the Hail, it just skips the accuracy check entirely. That means those smoke screens are totally useless, so our Blizzard secures a one-shot KO, leaving Claire with only a Dragonair left. I'm not sure if this is the one with Fire Blast or not, so I play it safe, swapping to Dugong on what was actually a Fire Blast. I'm the smartest guy around, what can I say? From here, a Thunder Wave might paralyze us, but a Blizzard connects and gets us the final KO of the battle. That's the 8th and final gym badge in the case, and our next test is the Pokemon League. Crybaby says what? What? Gotcha. We've got one final test before we head toward the Elite Four, and that's an Evolution Gauntlet against the Kimono Girls. Umbreon is up first, but our own Evolution answers the call. A couple Ice Beam with a Confusion self-hit mixed in, because of course there was. We secure the KO, and Espeon is out second. Psychic does a ton of damage, like way more than I thought it would, but we hit an Icy Wind, dropping its speed and letting Glaceon outspeed on the next turn to get a KO with Ice Beam. Third up is Flareon, so thick fat Dugong needs to win this 1v1. It hits a Fire Blast, so we encore it to waste its PP while it misses a ton of attacks, right? It hit all of them? No, yeah, that makes sense. Well, Cloyster needs to get a KO now since Dugong is out of HP, but that's not a big deal. A couple surfs later and we're halfway through the gauntlet. Fourth up is Jolteon, but I have a ground type now, so it just tries to double team cheese us, but a single Earthquake is enough damage. That means the Kimono Girls are down to their final evolution, Vaporeon. Water Absorb Lapras basically makes this thing useless, either being immune to or resisting all its main attacking moves, so after a couple Thunderbolts, down goes Vaporeon and we're through the gauntlet. They give us the Tidal Bell, meaning we've got to traverse through the Whirl Islands again. By the way, why the fuck does Heart Gold make you do some stupid ramps, but in Soul Silver I have to bump around in the dark until I get lucky? Unfucking believable. Lugia appears before us, so we just run away, and then the Kimono Girls like don't know what to say in reaction. They're just in shock, like, why the fuck did he do that? Nothing is standing in the way now though, so we fly into New Barktown, get the Kanto map added to the Pokegear, surf around all the trainers possible, then somehow get spotted by this fisherman. Like, look at this reaction time. Victory Road is empty since Silver took them all down, so after we bury him, it's basically like we won all those battles. Cool little life hack for you, if you just take all the credit for what someone else did, you'll get promoted faster. Try that out in your internship. Well, your boss is going to try that out using your work. Yeah. Silver's lead Sneasel gets destroyed by Cloyster, but he switches out to counter the water type with his electric type, Magneton. Yeah, nice try, buddy. Typhlosion is second, and I thought we'd be faster here. Nope. But thankfully, we dodge a crit, then get a KO with a super effective Earthquake. Third up is Haunter, and it loses a 1v1 to Glaceon after cutting its own HP in half with Curse, so that brings out Kadabra fourth. I make use of our bulkiest team member here, Lapras, so a couple surfs bring down the Psychic type, and fifth up is Golbat. My Ice types win this every day of the week, even without an Ice type move. Good thing we still have Thunderbolt. And that leaves only 1 HP Sneasel left to go, so Lapras gets her third KO in a row, winning us the battle and sending Silver away with his tail between his legs. Here we are, the Pokemon League. We've only got our team of 5 here, but we're staring down the barrel of the Elite Four, including a fighting type specialist. I'm not feeling awesome about this, but let's see if we can make it happen. The Master of Psychic types, Will, is the first Elite Four member we've got to take on. He leads with Xatu, and I lead with Choice Scarf Glaceon. A Stab Ice Beam takes care of the flying type pretty easily, and Jinx comes out second. Our future encounter isn't a great matchup for us, so I bring in Lapras to try to get some chip. We trade a couple Psychics for a Surf, then a Lovely Kiss puts us to sleep. From here, I bring in Dugong to tank a couple more Psychics, then finish off the second Pokemon of the battle with a Waterfall. Third up is Exeggutor, which could be threatening if it actually had a Grass move to use, but since it doesn't, it just sets up a Reflect, which we can use Encore on to lock it into the status move. That gives us a safe swap back to Glaceon, and from here, a Shadow Ball takes care of the Grass type, bringing out Slowbro fourth. This guy is the reason we didn't use Ice Beam earlier, since even after an Amnesia, Shadow Ball is still a 2-shot KO. That leaves the first Elite Four member of Johto with only his ace left. Xatu. Wait, didn't we kill this already? No, silly, that was the other Xatu, which he has for some reason. You know there's other Psychic types that got introduced in this region, by the way? Well, Xatu survives a Shadow Ball on what's gotta be 1 HP, but a Psychic wouldn't have KO'd with a crit anyways, so there wasn't a risk. One more Shadow Ball is all it takes, finishing off Will's ace and winning us the first Elite Four battle of the run. On to the next. Former Fuchsia City Gym Leader Koga is second up in this Elite Four gauntlet. He leads with Ariados and I lead with Lapras. It has a pretty unique move, Spiderweb, which is like Bug-type Mean Look, but that's kinda all it has going for it. Ariados just kinda sucks, so a couple surfs bring it down no problem, and Fortress is out second. I swapped to Mamoswine on a weak Swift, then after an Earthquake does a bit less than half, the plan is to chip it down with an Ancient Power to avoid Bruno using a full restore. For fuck's sake. Okay, fine. I'll take that. With that boost, we bring down Fortress with 2 Earthquakes after a full restore, and Venomoth comes out third. Since Fortress set up a layer of Toxic Spikes earlier, I didn't really want to swap anyways, and this +1 Omni boost is definitely helping out the Stay In campaign. Our Earthquake actually just flat out one-shots Venomoth here, so that's a pretty easy way to get Muck out 4th. A Poison type with pretty subpar physical defense against my +1 Woolly Mammoth with Stab Earthquake? Bye! That leaves Koga with only his ace Crobat left, so I use priority Ice Shard to get in some damage before a potential double team. Lucky for us though, it just hits a wing attack for less than a third, so we're free to finish off this battle with another Ice Shard. With that, we're halfway through the Elite Four, but trust me, this is where it's going to start getting hard. Pause. Just like in the original Indigo League, Bruno and his fighting types are standing in our way. He leads with Hitmontop, and I lead with Lapras. Since its only fighting moves are Counter, which can never hit us because we only have special moves, and Triple Kick, which the AI only sees as hitting once in the damage calcs, we should be pretty okay here. Hitmontop kind of just spams Dig, which we can block with Protect, so after waiting for the AI to eventually try Counter again, we can bring down Hitmontop without taking any damage, prompting Bruno to send out Hitmonlee second. We Protect on a high jump kick, causing a ton of crash damage, like way more than I thought it would. So from here, I bring in Cloyster to try to tank a second one, but it went for Swagger instead. So now I've got to shake off this by bringing Lapras right back in. Unlucky. I really didn't want to lose Lapras there. Well, at least I'm free to bring in Cloyster now, and with Choice Scarf, we're fast enough to fire off a 5-hit Spike Cannon to take down Bruno's second Pokemon, trading 1 for 1. The final Hitmon is up third, Hitmonchan, but without a fighting move, it really isn't that hard to deal with. We're faster with Choice Scarf, so we've only got to tank 1 Thunder Punch for like a quarter before taking it down with a couple Spike Cannons, getting us halfway through Bruno's team before his ace comes out, Machamp. At this point, our only way through this demon is to get some damage as soon as possible, so to do that, Cloyster is going to have to make his exit. A 5-hit Spike Cannon does really solid damage here, then down goes our Pokewalker starter. I bring in Choice Specs Glaceon here, and now it's time for the gamble. If boosted Ice Beam doesn't kill from here, it's game over. Right here, right now. Thank God. Well, Bruno does have an Onix left, but like, it's an Onix. So after taking a Rock Slide, okay. No. That's not how this run is ending. From here, an Ice Beam brings down Bruno's last Pokemon, and we're through the third of 4 Elite Four members. That was a pretty costly one, honestly, so we're gonna need some luck to get through the next one. Karen is the final Elite Four member we gotta take down, and she leads with Umbreon and I lead with Mamoswine. Earthquake does a bit less than half, and it sets up a double team, so let's just waste some full restores, then take down the... Well, the plan was to take down Houndoom in a chain kill after we got rid of Umbreon, so now I need to figure this out. I bring in Dugong on a Focus Blast, which not only hits, but actually just straight up kills us here, which I really wasn't expecting. Well, I planned on having to dodge at least one of these Focus Blasts, so Glaceon, it's time to pull off a miracle. Okay, well, Choice Spec Shadow Ball does get a kill here, but like, at this HP, I think we're cooked, as Houndoom comes out next. We do get kind of lucky on the switch here, since Houndoom saw a kill with Dark Pulse, so Mamoswine doesn't die switching in. That lets us get a KO with an Earthquake, but Vileplume is coming out now, and I can't just bring in Glaceon on a Petal Dance like I planned. The only choice is to sack Mamoswine, then bring in Glaceon for the Revenge KO, hitting a super effective Ice Beam and bringing out Murkrow. Unfortunately, this Christmas movie of a Nuzlocke does come to an end here though, since Murkrow is faster and takes down our final Ice type with a Pluck. With that, we're headed back to New Bark Town, and we failed a Pokemon Soulsilver Hardcore Nuzlocke with only Ice types. Thanks guys so much for watching this one. I've seen similar runs done before, but they use Smoochum as the starter, and I wanted to try to mix it up a bit. I think Jinx is like mandatory for this run in the future though, so maybe I'll try to like Repel Manip the Swinub chance in half for future attempts. But with that being said guys, thanks so much for watching this one again. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you guys in the new year. Happy holidays.